Right. I'm going to step into a minefield. So I saw this. Officer Tatum, one-on-one interview with Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, that in itself just, like, no offense to the Officer Tatum. I like him, okay? Brandon. Obviously I'm subbed, right? So how did you get a one-on-one interview with Netanyahu? Why? I'd like to know how this came about. You approached him, they approached you. Uh, okay.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. I know that you guys had some crazy circumstances going on over there in Israel with bombs coming in. And so I thank you for coming on and doing this anyway. There are people who believe that relationships of Christians in Israel aren't as good.
Christians are not merely tolerated in Israel, they're welcomed as a treasure. And Israel is the only place.
Yeah, this is just coming up. These are, like, we're gonna go through past. Yeah, like, I'm probably gonna get some sort of, but I want the introduction. I would have liked it to have started. Okay, forget the coming up bit. I would have liked a little bit of background as to how this interview came about. I mean, you're talking about a head of state having an interview with someone who is, I don't know. I mean, I only know Officer Tatum from YouTube, but I know he's been on a few. It just, and I get it, right? Israel, well, maybe we'll get there. Well, no, like, this is the crux of it, right? Mainstream media seems to be very pro-Palestine. So Israel might want to put their own point of, their own. Should it be? I'm going to call him Bibi instead of keep saying Benjamin, not Netanyahu. Should it be Bibi? Should Bibi? You don't have. You couldn't have gone for like a surrogate that would have come and said these things. What? This is just like, this is a coup. Like, this. I mean, like, for Benjamin, for Officer Tatum to get a one-on-one interview with with a head of state, it this is huge. How many views has it got now? Yesterday it only had 49,000. Now it says 61,000. I just this not a lot of views considering, like, and so how, and then that suggests what, this is being suppressed by, I don't know what's happening here. There's something that just doesn't, well, yeah, there are many things that don't quite. This is a sitting head of state during a war, a very much, topical, current, everybody's got opinions. Well, I say everybody, most people. And Brandon's got this interview and very few views, not being promoted in the algorithm, or okay, so there's some weird shit happening, I think, with the algorithm. I'm not sure why Benjamin Netanyahu is talking to a YouTuber. I'm not sure why he can't go on. Well, I mean, I've got an idea as to why he can't go on CNN, or, do you know what I mean? Like, what's it called? Face the Nation, or I've got an idea as to why he couldn't go on those kind of programs and say this stuff, because I don't think they want to hear it. But let's hear what he's got to say. And
Thank you for coming on. I know that you guys had some crazy circumstances going on over there in Israel with bombs coming in. And so I thank you for coming on and doing this anyway and having this interview with me. I just got a couple questions I want to ask. Obviously, I've been to Israel. I love Israel. I'm obviously pro Israel. So I think a lot of people that follow me know that. But I have a couple questions I just want to ask you, because there are people in our country who I would argue are naysayers, people who disagree with some of the things that I've said, some of the things that you said. And so one of the things that I find to be dear to the hearts of people in America is the relationship between Israel, the Christians who live there. And there are people who believe, to a small degree, in my opinion, that Christians' relationships, or the relationships of Christians in Israel, aren't as good. And so can you speak to that, Prime Minister, about how Christians live in Israel? Are they accepted in Israel? Are they treated fairly in Israel? And then we'll get to some of the Christians that are in Gaza.
Well,
Okay, so this is the opening question, I assume. Okay, hang on a second. So we're talking about treatment of Christians in Israel. Okay, that's all right.
first of all, this is the birthplace of Christianity. In all these sites, people could walk and do walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Christians are not merely tolerated in Israel. They're welcomed as a treasure of our common Judeo-Christian heritage. And Israel is the only place in the Middle East where Christians are safe, because throughout the Middle East, churches are bombed, Christians are killed, as happened in Syria, murdered mercilessly, and elsewhere. And in Israel, we are brothers. And, we have, I think, 300 Christmas trees that have been brought to Jerusalem to enable Christians to celebrate Christmas. I visit Christian communities all the time.
Okay, 300 Christmas trees to celebrate Christmas. There's no other country in the Middle East that will. Christians can live safely. Okay.
We welcome them. Many of them, by the way, serve in our military, brave defenders. And I'll give you an example of what happens when we're not here. Under the Oslo Accords, we gave Bethlehem. I don't have to explain what Bethlehem is, do I, Brandon? I mean, it's a holy place for the Christians. Well, when we were there for decades, the Christian community was 80%.
Okay. First of all, we gave. I'm just going to say we gave Bethlehem to the Christians. Okay.
Of the population, and the Muslim community was 20%, actually less than 20%. We left it, we gave it to the Palestinian Authority, the Muslim Palestinian Authority. Now, a few decades later, the numbers are exactly reversed.
So wait a minute, you didn't give it to the Christians, you gave it to the Muslim Palestinian Authority. Okay.
There are 80% Muslims in Bethlehem and less than 20% Christians. They've basically been booted out. So it's good to be a Christian in Israel. It's bad to be a Christian outside of Israel in the Middle East. Not everywhere. Some places they're more tolerated more than elsewhere, in some of the Gulf states, for example.
Oh, okay. So now he's moderated that earlier statement. Okay. Yeah, no. Before I even started watching this, I'm sorry. It reeks of propaganda. And I'm just going to... I've only watched about 15 minutes of it, maybe even only 10. The propaganda, just keep going, because, okay.
But this is what characterizes us. We cherish the holy places, the freedom to worship, the fact that people have different faiths, different beliefs. We not only tolerate it, we treasure it. And
Lily O'Brien's award-winning truffles, perfect for sharing with the ones you really know.
we treasure it and we protect it.
Prime Minister.
Okay, well, straight away I'm going to dispute that, because most of the holy sites within Israel have restricted access, and it's basically based upon religion. So you can, and I to an extent I accept that, because I'm not being funny, there's a lot of Hamas, terrorism. It's kind of like, if you're going to do a bad act, then you're going to, but don't be. Access to these places is controlled. Okay.
There's a sentiment of, I guess, mistreatment of Christians in Gaza from Israel. People point to the Catholic Church that was bombed in Gaza. They also point to the Christians who live in Gaza now that are refusing to leave, even after giving an order to leave the area, because obviously there's going to be military operations there. What do you say to the naysayers who are saying that Christians may be safe in Israel proper, but they're not safe in Gaza, and that there's no regard for Christianity and holy sites in Gaza?
Well, first of all, there are very few number of Christians.
Okay, before he gets into his explanation, let me explain. If you're not aware of this already, okay, I'm pro-Israel. But Benjamin Netanyahu, I would have liked him to have spoken about his history and his background, and because he is hardcore And I can... If you're caught, if you... Innocent civilians... I'm just going to say collateral damage, okay? I just think that if you asked this dude here, Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, what his feelings are on collateral damage, I just think he has a very broad... And if you're in that area, and he's just going to I think what he's about to do is minimize the loss of Christians, because, like, basically, if you're in that area and they're trying to... and the thing is, like, none of this is good, but let him keep... Okay, I'm not getting into my thoughts, right? I mean, you know, but, okay, so, now we're gonna... Are Christians safe in Gaza? No. Do you understand? Nobody's safe in Gaza. Nobody is safe in Gaza right now. Are they targeting Christians? No, they're not targeting Christians. They're trying to target Hamas. But if you're in Gaza, collateral damage. If you get caught in the collateral damage, you either get yourself out, and he's hardcore. This guy is hardcore. He's not going to say it like that, because I don't know how you say that in a way that... But this is... You know, we start to talk about acceptable losses and civilian casualties, and...
Gaza, because Hamas is a tyranny, it's a terrorist tyranny that wants to not only murder all the Jews, but it doesn't accept Christianity, it doesn't accept other faiths, it doesn't even accept other persuasions of Islam that they deem are heretics. So it's not good to be a Christian in Gaza, and that's why there are not many of them. I think that our concern for the welfare of Christians in Gaza is our concern for the welfare of civilians. We've sent millions of text messages to Gazans to leave battle zones. We've sent, sent text messages, phone calls, and Hamas has been shooting people who want to leave war zones. They actually shoot women and children because they use the civilian population as human shields. Now, as far as the church you're talking about,
and that's it, right? And I think this is the point. They've done everything they can to warn the civilian population, but if you're still there, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can only do so much. You gotta get your ass out. Okay, are they targeting you? No. Is it their intention? No. But they will blame Hamas. And in the flip side of that, Hamas will blame them.
that was an unfortunate thing. You know, there are things that happen in war, and they're not intentional, they happen. And the church was...
I don't like this language. Yeah, it was an accident. It was an unfortunate accident. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying that he did it deliberately. Okay, but I'm just not sure that we'd call it... I don't know, call it a... I don't know, but I mean, a tragic error, a terrible... It was... but this man with his background, he is at war. He's taking no prisoners. And he wants no prisoners taken. He's hardcore. He's going in. I can be pro-Israel. There are lots of people who are pro-Israel, but we don't necessarily have to agree with this dude.
And I said, listen, I'm very sorry that this happened. It wasn't intentional. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that the Christian leaders and the staff can come back to this church, actually made a safe passage for them. And they can rebuild, with our help, rebuild that church. Because that's our policy. Accidents do happen in war, but that in no way reflects on our policy. In fact, the way we treated this mishap does reflect on our policy, because we actually took care of it, and we do everything on our property.
Mishap. You called it a mishap. And you can't take care of dead people. When they're dead, they're dead. Rebuild the church and... Okay, yeah, right. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got his warhead on. He's going after Hamas hardcore. If you're caught in the collateral damage, you need to get your butts out of...
To protect them in the war zone, it's much more difficult, obviously, but we still go to lengths to do that. And in Israel, if you actually talk to the majority of Christians, talk to them. You'll see what they say. They say Israel is the only place where we're respected and protected.
And I can attest to that as a Christian with Israel.
Yeah, I got my own thoughts on this, but we'll get there.
Spent 2 weeks there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had on one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors, and immediately after there was an adult that came by and said, "That's not a representation of who we are. You know, we love you guys. You guys are always welcome here." And I have to say, no adults gave us any grief. We had.
Do I even need to break that down and explain that? He spent 2 weeks there. He's obviously on some sort of guided. My mum went to Israel she did like Bethlehem, and she went and, I don't think she had any incidents. I've been to Israel, but that was for work. I was in Tel Aviv. I went to Jaffa. I've got a lot of respect for Israel. I'm pro-Israel. I'm not sure about this dude. This is where we are. This is what's happening. I'm so sorry. This whole interview and everything that Benjamin Netanyahu is said, at this point, it smacks of propaganda. And the fact that Brandon says, yeah, we were there for 2 weeks. Oh no, we had the only thing that happened was this young kid came up and spat. And an adult, not necessarily the kid's parents, but an adult came over and said it's not representative. I'm sorry, where does a kid learn that? Because, we've got... I don't... Where does a kid learn that? How does that... So, no, I don't believe you. And then, obviously, Sister, Stephanopoulos' his sister was on with Tucker Carlson, and she was talking about the treatment of Christians in Israel and stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to make like everything's okay, and I don't know how you throw out an example like, the only thing that happened was a kid spat. Like check yourself, dude. Come on. In yourself. Where did the kid pick that up from? Why did the kid think that was... Was it the parents that pulled him up? No. What's going on there? But yeah, sure, go ahead and say, Christians are treated equally, they're said, but you gave them but you didn't give them Bethlehem. You gave it to the Palestinian Authority. You put it under... But then why are you giving it? Because then that sounds like... So they're not equal. You've got control. You make... But you do, because you're the majority population. I think a surrogate should have done this for Netanyahu, and I think this is a terrible question to open with. I think these are terrible answers. And the truth. The truth. What do I know about the truth? I think Israel is the same as every other country, and you've got the homegrown citizens, and then you've got the other people that, well, I shouldn't even say that, because then that suggests a level of racism and stuff that I think it's a fairly authoritarian society. I think there is a hierarchy of people. It starts with Israeli Jews, and then there are other Jews, and then I don't know, you can fight it out amongst yourselves. Maybe Christians are, near the... But it doesn't matter. We're all Christian. I mean, is a Jewish person going to kill a Christian? No, they're not. Are they going to disrespect you and spit on you and see you as a second-class citizen? Yeah, they absolutely are. if you were an Arab or a Muslim, would they? But then I think that invokes like a survival instinct. I think that would be like a reaction to the situation. Like, as much as people living in the Gaza Strip and stuff like that, you know, where they feel, and to a large extent, yeah, they are. I think there are human rights violations. There have been over decades. They've been overlooked. I do. As much as I support Israel, I wouldn't want to live there as a non-Jew. I do think it's not an openly apartheid society, but it's pretty close, and I wouldn't want to be Muslim there. It's uncomfortable being a non-Jew. And that's it, you know. You can sit there and say Christians have equal rights, and they're not, and they don't. A young kid spat on these people visiting because he knew they were Christian. And that's, I just don't think there's anywhere you can go with that. Where did he get that from? Why did he think that was okay? What's it? That's it then. I kind of, yeah, I kind of stopped listening to it after that. I'm so troubled by this. This is, and I can't, like, no one's going to fall for this. No wonder there's only 61,000 views, but nearly 8,000 likes. How? This is awful. This is propaganda, man. This is. Yeah, they're not hard questions. I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing. I can't. I'm so. Yeah, I just can't get past. Yeah, that's it. Straight away, we're like, none of it makes sense to me, and this is going to backfire horribly. And I am pro-Israel. But I can be critical. Oh yeah, I do think they go on to talk about alleged war crimes and stuff like that, right? Oh yeah, that's classic. The ICC prosecutor. But Netanyahu's been charged with war crimes or whatever, apparently, by this ICC prosecutor. But Netanyahu dismisses it because the ICC prosecutor who's made the allegations or the charges or whatever has been charged with or accused of some sort of sexual stuff. So that just nullifies so that dude made those accusations against him to divert from his sexual assault claims, and then you're not addressing your war crimes allegations. You're just going to answer that by saying that, oh, he only made them because he's trying to take attention away from his sexual assault claims. No, I'd rather you'd addressed the claims, and I'd rather you said that you welcomed an investigation, and you would want the same for whoever ends up, you know, the Palestinian Authority, because there were war crimes and stuff on both sides, but people need to be held accountable. But don't dismiss it that easily, right? Gaza hospitals, journalists, and human shields. Yeah, collateral damage. Food distribution, yeah, no, this is about where I gave up. I didn't. Starvation narratives and hostages. I've got a pretty good idea how Netanyahu is going to respond to most of this, and genocide accusations and Israel's PR battle. Well, social media bots, propaganda, and the info war. Yeah, I mean, that's it straight away. I mean, you said it. Don't tell me that no, Christians are not treated equally in Israel. I don't buy into everything that Sister Agapaha, whatever her name was, right on the top. I don't buy into everything that she said. But Israel does need to take some accountability for their behaviour in the past and their treatment of people in the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, you know, we're going to call them Palestinians, okay? A young kid spat on a Christian in that tour group. And that's it. That was game over for me. Everything you say after that is like, I can't believe anything that comes out of your mouth. And take some accountability.